Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Real Scent Review. This is Joe. Time for another fragrance review. It's been a while. I'm sorry. I've been very busy with work. But anyway, without any further ado, here I am again. Here we are again. Beautiful, chilly Friday night here. I was wearing Sauvage, Dior Sauvage the other day, and it made me think of, the weather's probably a little bit too chilly to enjoy that one. So it got me thinking about Dior Sauvage Eau de Toilette alternatives. And of course, the first one that came into my mind is this. So it's Luna Rossa Carbon by Prada. It's a very nice one here. First and foremost, as I said before, I've reviewed Dior Sauvage Eau de Toilette in a previous video. It's very good for warm summer weather because of those very citric, fresh notes. Prada Luna Rossa Carbon is a little bit more geared towards the cooler weather, nighttime, sort of chillier atmosphere. And in this review, I'm going to explain why. First of all, I just have to say I do not like the cap. You see this transparent cap here? It just slides right off. There is like no friction. Do not by any means pick this up by the cap. It's a very good way to easily lose a bottle. It has happened to me before, unfortunately. So, terrible cap aside, spray the atomizer. The atomizer is actually very nice. And, yeah, of course. So, when you first spray this, of course, you get that initial, I wouldn't call it a blast of bergamot and pepper. I would call it more so a mist of bergamot and pepper. In Dior Sauvage, as soon as you spray it, you get hit hard with strong bergamot and strong pepper to the point where it almost smells a little bit smoky. Anyway, with the Prada Luna Rossa Carbon, you get more of a mist of that bergamot and pepper. Yeah, it's a little bit fresh. Yeah, it's a little bit spicy because of the pepper. But what really separates this from Dior Sauvage Eau de Toilette is the lavender note. So Dior Sauvage Eau de Toilette does contain a lavender note. However, the lavender note in Prada Luna Rossa Carbon is much stronger, much more apparent. You could say Dior Sauvage Eau de Toilette is completely based around bergamot and ambroxan. Well, this is based around lavender and ambroxan, with a special little addition that I'm going to get to shortly. So, of course, as soon as you spray this, yeah, you get a little bit of that bergamot, of course, some pepper, but the lavender is the bed on which those two top notes are sleeping. It's a very good supporting note, the lavender being, sweet, kind of sweet, it's floral. So yeah, that's going to be the main note, the overarching note in this is the lavender. Now, it's not extremely sweet. It has a freshness to it. I don't know if you've ever smelled lavender before. It's it's a sweet smelling flower. It gives off a very strong scent, and yeah, this scent does a very good job at supplying a very realistic lavender note. I mean, it smells awesome. Now, of course, there is a striking resemblance to Dior Sauvage Eau de Toilette here. Like I said, though, this is slightly less fresh, more on the sweeter side of things, and definitely more geared towards cooler, maybe nighttime weather. Another thing is that Prada Luna Rossa Carbon features a mineralic note, a mineral note. Now, all the sources that I can find point to coal as being responsible for that. Of course, carbone in Italian meaning coal. The name of the fragrance is Luna Rossa Carbon, which means red moon coal in Italian. There is a mineralic sort of depth to this fragrance. I don't know. I can't tell you exactly what coal is supposed to smell like, but I would imagine, given the materials needed to make coal. It probably has a pretty earthy, I would say, earthy scent, for lack of a better word. And yeah, you can definitely tell that there's an earthiness, there's a depth to this below the lavender. It's a lavender that's, so the bergamot and pepper are supported by the lavender. I'm going to say the lavender is supported by this coal note. It might sound a little bit strange. It's not. This smells absolutely amazing. In fact, when I wear this, I honestly tend to get more compliments than I do when I wear Dior Sauvage Eau de Toilette. And I have to be honest with you, most of the women I've met in my life prefer this to Dior Sauvage Eau de Toilette. I think it's because of the amplified lavender note in the Luna Rossa Carbon here. In the dry down, this does feature ambroxan or amber wood, same as Dior Sauvage. So, after spraying this, about an hour, 2 hours maybe after spraying this, the dry down is very similar, almost identical to that of Dior Sauvage Eau de Toilette. So of course, the dry down is all about that ambroxan. It's all about that creamy, warm, amber woodiness. Very nice. It's very. I can't smell it right now. I've sprayed it too recently to be able to really smell the dry down and the notes that become very apparent in the dry down, being ambroxan. But yeah, the dry down to this is I would say 95% identical to that of Dior Sauvage Eau de Toilette. Dry downs, very good. Yeah, so starts off fresh, but with that bed of lavender and the coal tincture underneath gives it a very roundedness to the fragrance, which is good if you find yourself in a place where people tend to complain about Dior Sauvage. Some people out there think that Dior Sauvage, especially the opening, is very screechy, is very loud, and it is. It's very loud. This rounds out that opening of Dior Sauvage, and it increases the lavender note. So if you find yourself really enjoying Dior Sauvage, but other people around you might find it a little overwhelming, especially in the opening, this is your absolute best bet for a Dior Sauvage Eau de Toilette alternative. This will not turn people off. In fact, I don't think there's been a time while wearing this that I have not received a compliment. Whereas with Dior Sauvage, once or twice people have asked me, like, how much did you spray? Like, that smells very, very strong. Anyway, so that leads me to the performance. The performance here is, compared to the Dior Sauvage, the projection is slightly less. Being a heavier, more earthy, slightly sweeter scent. The projection is a little bit turned down. However, the longevity is right around the same as Dior Sauvage, getting 8-9 hours on the skin. Very, very good longevity. Projection, although it's slightly less than the Dior Sauvage Eau de Toilette, the projection is still very good. It projects at an arm's length for an hour, and it still projects, closer to the body, yes, but it still projects for up to 3 hours after initial application. Sillage on this is also quite good. Hangs around in the air after you spray it, etc. If you're stationary in a place and you move, someone else who comes into the place where you used to be is going to be able to smell this, quite strongly, in a good way, like I said, because this is not the type of scent that's going to turn people off. This is mass appealing, mass pleasing. So, the audience, who is this suited for? I would say definitely suited towards males. Any age range, really. It's classified as a blue scent. It's very versatile. Any age can get away with wearing this. The only thing is situations. I would definitely wear this. I would lean towards nighttime wear, especially in the cooler weather. Here we are at the beginning of fall. It's chilly at nighttime. I think this is a perfect occasion to wear a scent like Luna Rossa Carbon. If you want to get that DNA of Dior Sauvage Eau de Toilette, but have it more suited towards the cooler weather, I think this is definitely your best bet right here. And that leads to pricing. This is quite inexpensive. You can find this on retailers for as low as $35 US for a 50 milliliter bottle. Really has very similar performance to Dior Sauvage Eau de Toilette. It's more rounded. I would say slightly classier. You know, if you for example didn't want to wear Dior Sauvage Eau de Toilette to an office meeting because of the loudness and the overwhelming freshness of it, this is again your best bet as far as an alternative goes. This just rounds out the Dior Sauvage aspects that are seen as explosive and over the top, fresh, citrusy, and just tones that down a little bit and makes for a more well balanced, rounded scent. That could be more appropriate for formal settings as opposed to Dior Sauvage Eau de Toilette, if I can put it that way. That's what I would say. Like I said, it's a fraction of the price of the Dior Sauvage Eau de Toilette. So if you're out there and you feel like maybe Dior Sauvage Eau de Toilette would be a bit too much for your current situation, both in terms of price and loudness of the projection, I think Luna Rossa Carbon by Prada is absolutely the best alternative. High quality, classy. It does the same job as Dior Sauvage is meant to, and at a fraction of the price, like I said. Okay guys, that's going to do it for me tonight. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Please consider giving this video a like, and please press that bell so you can receive notifications to your phone, tablet, or device. Alright guys.